before you ever invest money, before you ever make money, before you ever save money or spend money, you have to invest in your value. You have to invest in your gifts, in your skills, in your purpose. So what's the one thing that impacts how we do that? It's how we spend our time. Your time, before you spend any money, before you invest any money, you first invest your time. So what's something that you guys spend a lot of your time doing? Yo, I heard phone. Y'all know I'm gonna say phone. Raise your hand if like 99.9% of your time is on your phone. A little bit, it's your phone, right? Okay, perfect. Eating, painting, sports. I want you to keep writing these down. Where can you start to invest your time so that it can turn into money and it can turn into prosperity? Start to write a few of these things down. So your ideas, your voice, your skills, your gifts, this is true wealth. When you look up the word wealth, you're going to see that it means an abundance of value. So right now in this moment, if you have purpose, if you have skills, if you have gifts, if you have time, you are already wealthy. So God already made you wealthy. And money is not going to be able to bring that to you. The second thing that you're going to talk about and begin to move into is out of spending and into circulating. So I want you to listen up to this one, because this is the one that is going to truly change the way that you make money in the long run. Money is not designed to be spent. It's designed to be circulated. Did you know that the word spend means to disperse out randomly? So when you spend money, it means that you're just kind of dispersing it out in random places. Like, oh, I want that. Or have you ever gone to the store and you weren't planning on wanting that, and then you were like, oh my gosh, I wish I had money to buy that. Or I just want to spend money on that right now. Whereas circulating means to move money in a consistent order. And when you circulate money, it starts to multiply, and it starts to do things that are actually valuable. So I want you to write down the word spend on your piece of paper. And then I want you to cross that word out and write circulate. So from today on, you're no longer going to spend money, you're going to circulate it. Money is meant to be moved. It's meant to be in multiple places at once. And the thing is, we think that money is our idea, but it was actually God's idea. Money wasn't our idea, y'all. And if you look up the word money, it means to exchange. Money doesn't mean cash. It means to exchange. And that wasn't our idea. The first story of exchange in the Bible had nothing to do with cash. It wasn't even printed then. So when you're circulating, you're exchanging with other people. And if all of a sudden cash was like, I don't want to exchange anymore. I want to shut everything down. I'm scared. I'm scared if I let go of my money at all, then I'm going to lose it. And there's all this fear, and she starts to grip onto her money, and she stops sharing her gifts, and she stops sharing value. Then that impacts how she's going to multiply money later, and also impacts you, because what if you're meant to hear her voice? What if you're meant to experience her singing or her dancing or her YouTube channel or the podcast or whatever it is that she creates? So when you're circulating money, you're moving it around. You don't want money to be stagnant in one place. Have you ever gotten allowance before, and you're like, I better tuck this away for like, I don't know when, but I better tuck it away? For real, have you ever done that? Where you're like, this is gonna be the last amount I probably get for a while. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of homework and an exercise to do. Who here is good with numbers and math? Just gifted at it. Oh, that's good. That's not my ministry, but I love that for you guys. So you're gonna do something called the 30-70 exercise every time you get an allowance or every time you get paid. And that means that you're gonna put money into two different places. You're going to put 30% of whatever you get towards your gifts, towards your skills, and towards your vision. And then you're going to put 70% towards something that it is that you want, because you get to do both. Saving money doesn't mean you can't do what you want and do things that you enjoy. It just means that you are putting money in different places and moving and circulating it around. So if you get $10, you're going to put 30% towards your vision, and you're going to put 70% towards what it is that you want or what it is that you want to spend on. But from now on, I want you to think about circulating money, moving money, not just randomly dispersing it out. Is that clear? Make sense? Okay, the second thing that I want you to practice in this moment is a phrase that I use, and this phrase changed my life. It changed how much money I made. It changed how much money I was comfortable with having. Because believe it or not, people are afraid of having money. People are afraid of the responsibility that it comes with. They're afraid of what it means to actually be rich. Yes, love? Okay, I'm going to give it back to you after. Okay. So right now, I want you to pick a partner nearby, and you're going to practice saying a couple things out loud to see what difference you feel in your body. So most people, like I said, are afraid of the responsibility of more money. So instead of saying, I have $5 or I have $10, you're going to switch it and say, I'm responsible for $10. So I want you to turn to someone nearby and say, I have $5. Okay, now pause. Let's flip it. I'm responsible for $5. Do you feel a difference? No difference. Feels the same? Okay, let's try one different one then. So let's say you go up to your parent, you go up to somebody, and you're like, I want $5. Please can I have $5, or please can I have $20. So you could say that, or you can say, I want to be responsible for $20. So I want you to practice saying that out loud. I want to be responsible for $20. So automatically, when you switch it to responsible, you're activating a part of your brain that has to think about the value that's going to make that money come into form. Because when you're responsible for a certain amount of money, that means you're also responsible for the value that created that money. Money doesn't just happen out of thin air. Your value is what creates it. Last one we're going to move into is the most important one. Money is a resource for the vision that God gave you. Money is a resource for the vision that God has given you. Remember when I just said that money is a way to exchange? So when you go to the store, you're exchanging money and then you get the thing in advance. If you go to, even right now, we're exchanging. Me and you right now, we're exchanging. You're giving me your attention and I'm giving you these words, I'm giving you these teachings. You guys are exchanging right now, pen to paper, ideas, talking. All of this is you exchanging value. And money is one of the currencies that you're going to exchange with. But watch this. Before you exchange money, you exchange other currencies. And the most valuable currency is not cash. The most valuable currency is your voice. Yes. If you walk into the world and you can't articulate the value that you hold, how is anyone ever supposed to pay you or exchange with you? So it's not the cash that's valuable. It's not the cash that is the most important currency. It's your voice. Place your fingers to your throat right now and say, it's my voice. When I speak, things happen. And when I know how to articulate who I am, when I know how to articulate my value, when I know how to speak about my ideas. That's why I was challenging her to tell me her idea. I know I put her on the spot, but she found it because she found her voice. She didn't find the idea. She didn't find the value. She found her voice to tell me about the value. Because that's where she was getting in her head. It wasn't that she didn't have the idea. She was just like, where's my voice? I'm on the spot right now. I'm feeling nervous. I don't know what to say. And then boom, her voice came in. And now we're exchanging, and I can hear her idea, so I'm more likely to collaborate with her. I'm more likely to hire her. I'm more likely to want to pay in exchange with her. Do you feel the difference that your voice can make? The difference is millions. It's millions. On that bench, after I filed bankruptcy, it wasn't money that made me rich. It was my voice. It was learning how to speak, how to show up in rooms and describe who I am and share with people who I am and not be afraid of being heard. If there's one thing you take from today, it's that your voice is the most valuable currency that God has given you. And the ones who are brave enough to speak are the same ones that are brave enough to start businesses and to do missionary work and to change parts of the planet. So raise your hand if you know deep down, I gotta get my voice up. I gotta go off mute. I gotta start to speak more. But what's the one thing that holds you back from speaking? What is it? Say it out loud. Go ahead, use your voice. Say it out loud right now. What is it? Say what you want. Period. She said, I want my business. Okay, so stand up. What's your business?
I want to have a business called All-in-One Beauty, and it's going to have all hair salons, nail salons, any service you want is going to be in that shop, and in that shop is going to be a shop where you can get products too. It's going to have everything.
Yes, it is done. That is beautiful. What is your name? Say it again. Brooklyn. I want you to know that there's a couple names you're going to remember at the end of this weekend, and Brooklyn is one of them. Not because Brooklyn is more special than anyone in this room, but because you just heard Brooklyn's voice. And when you hear another girl's voice, it changes the atmosphere. Do you guys feel the atmosphere change? Did you feel the value go up? Did you feel the vision go up? Who feels more inspired after hearing that? Who feels more activated after hearing that? So Brooklyn, let's just do this as an example. Brooklyn just exchanged value with each of you. With no cash involved, she just delivered you value. She just exchanged value with you through the currency of her voice and through the way she described her ideas. How many people started to see Brooklyn's vision in their own head? Like, I could see that, I could see that part, I could see that part, I could see that part. So that's the power of using your voice. Now imagine if there were investors in this room. Now imagine if there was partners in this room that God wants to put right next to Brooklyn to make that real. And imagine if Brooklyn stayed in her seat the whole time and never spoke about it. Then the investors just walked out. They didn't hear anything. So when you speak, God positions the right people around you to partner with your voice and with your vision. Your voice and your vision is what grows money. Your voice and your vision is what grows money.